All right, I'd like to introduce you to the fake intro of Deep South Outer Space with artist Matthew Evans.
Nice to be here.
You got the juice.
Artists are the best businessmen.
My brain is like a toilet.
I feel like the strength of Atlanta is like, obviously we got the southern shit, but we're like weirdos, you know, fucking aliens. You don't have to provide an answer, like art's about that fucking search.
I feel like I'm at an eye doctor. Are you getting up close or something? Okay, Weston. Let's go sit down. Welcome. Come on. Let's
Where am I sitting here?
Yeah, you're in that one.
This one?
Yeah, I get the lucky, they don't film me much.
Nice. Oh, it's comfortable.
These are like my grandma's chairs.
Yeah, I was
the baddest
literally
shit
about
ever.
to say this is grandma chair. Yeah, luckily I'm chill. I've been known to get the little like nervous shakes in my voice and shit
Oh,
when
really?
I do
Oh.
presentations sometimes, and I'm just like,
If
and
I have to-
sometimes actually start like convulsing, and like back in like high school during my senior
I'm the
project,
same,
I was
dude.
like
I'm the same. Like I'm like a clinically shy person that like throughout my life I had to move so much. You get thrown in situations, you learn humor. You know, all the fucking
Yeah.
drawing is a defense mechanism.
Totally, yeah.
You know, to get in with these crew I want to be in. I'm look, they'll be like, ah.
Yeah.
So it's always everything's probably a thing to defend against, like, cause like shy, like goddamn, stupidly, like where I'm like, man, and sometimes I'll get it, like it'll just click back out of nowhere, like I'll be like, I had to talk to like 5 people about this stupid mural, and I was like, I paint, and my kids were there, and so I got weird because my kids are always like making fun of me, like they, you know what I mean, so it was,
fun.
I told him, I was like, I can ramble about stuff, but if you want me to get up there and say, I want you to talk about 1920s art history, I'd be like, I'd shit in my pants, man. I'd fucking like, you know what I mean? I'd go into,
for sure.
you'd be like, holy shit, he's something, convulsing, stroke. But so how do I introduce this, I guess? Yeah, so like,
What is Atlanta today?
yeah, one of the things we're always, because we're in Atlanta and all this, and sometimes I feel like the 90s New York rappers griping that fucking mumble rap is annoying. Sometimes it feels like that for me.
Yeah.
You know, like, but
Sounds like that.
it sounds. I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's the like when I came up, it was just hustling, high-fiving, hustling, selling shit out of your trunk, all that kind of stuff. No art galleries, some renegade spots usually. But like we were talking about earlier, the algorithm, all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm trapped in it like everyone, but I'm also confused. Like, if I was having to have that same hustle now, like, what is it? Like, what is it like trying to make a living in the Atlanta art scene, art world, art?
Man, I guess I
Or what do you do to make a living in Atlanta?
Well, for years I feel like I'm just, got to the point in my career, I guess, that like I'm like on the map, so to speak. Like people who own galleries or have positions of power within the art world, or like who are developers or whoever it may be, like I'm finally on the radar. But like my whole approach has always kind of been just like do the work, put it out there. And like I've never been a big like, I guess like always being there and like hey, remember me, like I'm always just like I'm just gonna keep going. And there's years where I'm like, no one fucking knows me, but then it's like eventually that's where like, so, but in terms of like what it's like, man, I mean, or like what,
I mean, you. I would say one of the unique things about you that I haven't seen is the I would just call the level of hustle. You know what I mean? So I would say you could probably scroll through your Instagram and say that's how I'm staying alive in Atlanta at the art scene. It's not snazzy parties and artsy fartsy stuff.
It for me it's I mean there's galleries that do good work, and
How are the galleries now? I feel. Do you sell stuff from them? That's the only
this is the way I still am happy to show work at galleries. They do sometimes sell my work, but like when I look at my year's like work that's sold, it's like you know, less than 10% of them are coming from galleries. It's like almost all.
It's not livable like where
No,
like, you can
and
live off of
also, yeah, I don't live off of. I used like, so before I ever did murals full time, I was doing like, I've always been like, I used to teach like the drink and doodle like BYOB paint classes and shit, that kind of shit. Then I did like dog portraits, house portraits. For years I was like, literally I've painted hundreds of dogs, like literally. So it's just like, I've always been like, or like, what do you need? What do you want painted? I will do anything. So like, I've always had that mentality in terms of making money. Like the only fucking skill I have more or less is this, and all eggs are in this basket. So like, whatever it is that I can do with painting to make money, I will do that. Like I used to assist tons of artists like on whatever project they were, like when I was starting out, just like, oh, William Massey was actually a big kind of mentor for me at a certain, like getting out of college. Cause I was like, I met him like last year and I'm just like, oh, you're doing it? Like you're someone youngish who's like literally making.
And he's doing more ideas than just sculptors and things.
Oh yeah,
he's got a lot of ideas in the works, and
no, he's an amazing.
I was at the goat farm with him for that creatives project thing or whatever. Yeah, he's a super nice guy.
He's a great dude, and like so that was kind of my initial thing, was just like, oh, like applying to things like, how can I assist on these different like projects that have a budget, or like how can I, and luckily that happened like right as I got out of school, where I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what do you do with this art degree? Like, they didn't teach us shit. And so I was like, I don't fucking know. And then I got this job like right as soon as like assisting him, and it was boom, another like, just like those little like helping out here and there, doing commission paintings, like whatever, just even if it's just a few $100 like a week. It's like, if I'm painting some shit in my room and that's my job, like that's what I'm going to focus my energy on, as opposed to like trying to put fucking, like, let me go out and like work at this, coffee shop during the day to like get my baseline. I'm like, no, I will go do anything to not do that.
Right. You like put yourself in a cage all day, and then you gotta wait to get out to do the stuff you want to. Yeah. So you just hustled to figure out a way to, even on the small scale, match the coffee shop job. You know what I'm saying? Like even on a small
painting,
scale,
like it was just like, painting is what I'm going to do, because I know and I respect.
Because that's kind of a good way to look at it. Like, you're not painting to be a fucking millionaire. Like, whatever that job is you don't want to do at this stage in your life, try to get as much money as that. You know what I mean?
Just,
like,
yeah, man, it's like paint. Like I totally get why, and so many like artists that like make great work sometimes might have another job, because it's like they want that work to be. They want their, like I'm saying I do with my personal art, they want the job to be the thing, and then they make the art for them. And so it's like, I kind of have that now with, but my thing was like, I literally can't do anything besides painting. Like that's what I do.
Yeah, so if you're a carpenter, you'd be like looking everywhere for things to nail and put wood down. Yeah, it's this. Yeah, that's cool.
So I guess that was like the starting hustle of the whole thing. But the state of Atlanta is definitely like, I mean, the city's fucking insane development.
Right.
With that, as you know, sometimes is opportunities for artists, murals and shit. They have budget, so it's like, that's cool. But then you're seeing like the places you grew up with, just like the personality and soul kind of getting crushed, and like obviously gentrification's all a part in that. So it's like you're watching so much change at such a quick rate, and there's definitely some things being lost. But then there's also like this kind of thing where it's like, it's not slowing down. Like if you think about Atlanta's location, like with even climate change, like people are just going to keep moving off the coast. Like we're in a place, not a lot of hurricanes, earthquakes. Like this city is going to nonstop continue to grow. Like I used to think, like for years, I'm like, no, who the fuck's going to live in all these condos and shit? And it's like, I had that conversation with a million people. Like these are just going to be vacant. No one's going to live here. What the fuck is? But then I talk to certain people. I have a buddy who like worked at Google, or like people who like are in those big things that like no analytics and projected growth. They're like, no, that shit's gonna be occupied. Like Atlanta's only gonna be.
Oh, and they're so smart. They don't build them unless they know.
Yeah, they know. What I mean? So it's like it feels like it's all growing at this not very thoughtful and kind of like gross, just like more fucking condos. And it's like disappointing to see that. But the way I see it in terms of like my own role, like I'm born and raised here. love this city and I
Right.
care about it. So it's like, I want to continue to be a part of, because it's like everyone could say fuck this place, da, da, da,
Right.
and leave, and it's like, then what is it? You know what I mean?
Well, that's
it's
the
like,
problem. A lot of people do.
and people do that, and so it's like, or the New York or the LA. It's like I love this place and I want to be a part of it. So I feel like that's kind of part of the artist role. It's like, it does still annoy me when like people are just always shitting on Atlanta who like live here and shit. Because I'm just like, just in general, because I'm like,
Right.
get the fuck out then. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like I still care about it. It's obviously got a lot of room to like improve and shit to like, you know, I wish things were happening differently, but like I care a lot about it, and I would hope that my hope is that I can like be a part of it in a way that is cool or like
Right.
beneficial to the thing, or like
Right. Keeps it going.
keeps
you
it going
here
in
kinda
the right
thing.
way type of shit. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, my whole thing is like I've always been like, we need people from other states coming here to buy paintings from artists. Like that simple equation.
Yeah, that
Not
doesn't
to
happen very much.
donate to stuff, not to literally find you and buy something from you. Like that's the only thing I've always felt like we're missing. Like legit,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
artists selling
Collectors, yeah.
paintings because it's easier for us to make. It's easier. Like the murals are awesome, but it's a legit fucking work. It's part construction
Glorified.
job.
I call it glorified construction work.
Well, I told someone I was like, I don't want to fucking do it tonight. I was like, you ever go stand against that wall, 8 inches, for like 7 hours? Like you're not even looking at space and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
I've always been like, we need people coming here buying paintings, taking them back to fucking LA or wherever, and getting almost direct money to artists. Because if you had direct money for your stuff, you can tell you would use it to make more stuff. Like that's been my thing. I use the money to make more stuff. Like I have no
100%.
idea what I'm doing, so that's all I can figure out.
Exactly. Yeah, no. I definitely, and any artists who I've seen who've like made it like beyond, or like who are still working from Atlanta showing, it's like they had to like get in with like the New York, you know, like it's only like you're right, there's not that
That's what I mean,
collector,
you
there's
gotta-
not that collector base in Atlanta who's like, oh, like, and obviously I get it, like paying multiple $1,000s for like a piece of you know decoration. It's like it's not everyone can do it. I think it's beyond
But
decoration.
I call it out as a city. I say,
Yeah.
fucking people in New York can spend
Yeah.
$5,000. It's
The money's here.
it's
The
as much as
when
your
you think about the
couch.
film industry,
Yeah,
you
that's
think
what I'm
all
saying.
this shit happening here. The money
Yeah.
does exist.
So I
And-
kind of call it out as a city sometimes. I'm like,
No, I think
people
it's
in LA
true.
buy big paintings.
No,
and they're-
it's definitely a thing with Atlanta that our art scene is it's still like, and that's another thing to go back to what I was saying with all the growth. It's like that's where I feel like I want to like continue to make work that I believe in, and I think it's cool because I feel like there's a lot of not pushing it, like
Right.
and that is with this. It's not because we don't have the
and you're
collectors.
excited, more people, more eyeballs, bring them. You know what I mean, kind of thing.
And so I'm desperately wanting, like, not desperately, but you know, it's like I get very excited through Instagram, and it's one of the cool things when I like, oh shit, this person in the UK or New York likes my shit, because I'm like, I want to, you know, every artist wants to be more than just insular in their city.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you're right that it's just like the collector base of people who are like want contemporary like paintings that like they're not gonna scoff at if you know if it's not like under $1,000. It's like if you want us to like push it and like elevate our shit, then like.
Well, that's the thing. You can't push if you're only paying $200 paintings. As an artist, you can't push it because you got to make 10 of those $200 paintings.
Yeah, and there's a lot
Like
of
if I got
yeah.
2,000, man, I could push the fuck out of these
Yeah.
$2,000 paintings. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and there's a lot of like.
And it's not for greed. It's to pay the
No.
fucking bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I need that to get a new truck because my shit's falling. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
So it's I feel like we're like Atlanta feels like if there is a thing like working class artists. Like
Yeah,
there's not much celebrity.
who. Yeah,
There's not much
celebrity.
fanfare or you know.
And who do you know that is not doing another thing?
Yeah.
You know, everyone's got
Yeah.
side hustles. Everyone's
Yeah.
like working another job, even if it's in the arts. Like,
Yeah.
no one is just, or pretty much no one that I know of is just straight. I mean,
The ones I know they're doing it are left. That's a sad thing. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to stay.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, I think of like Fahamu Peku, like I know he's like
He's been doing it. He's been doing it.
He's like international gallery, like he's doing the like full artist thing, and there's more hints, you know, but
Hints
like,
is probably the biggest we got.
yeah,
That's come out of Atlanta. I know Fahamu's awesome and cool, but Hints is like in fucking Italy doing grain towers and
I know.
I mean,
yeah.
like some of the most
that's Norwegian. Goals for me, you know.
Yeah,
that's what I want to do.
I've always wished because like when we were doing stuff, Hints and them, where it was like Hints and some other dude. Like we'd finally get into like the low gallery to have a little painting in the fancy one, and all of a sudden it'd be like Hints and them would have this little section of, and they always break the boundaries. For a while they're doing paintings on like screen print fabric, so it was just black on screen print, beautiful like graffiti shit. They just always like take it a step up, but you know, like who are these guys? I always felt like they're so far ahead. You know, whenever we see stuff by them, Hints and Sever.
Yeah, I think they're the...
And then the next thing you know, I'm seeing Hints. He's broken his style down even further, and he's the one that's literally, I don't even know if you can find his old work, but he's mutated.
Yeah,
like mutated.
It's funny because my friend works at this place that like mass produces like hotel art.
Yeah.
And Hints used to work there back in the day, and they'll still have them like, I mean, shit. Hopefully they know that or he knows that, but they'll just be like recreate this along. But it's like you look at it and you're like. It's not like the color block like shape that you think of now at all. It's like very abstract, like more brushy and like
he had
I barely remember
for a while. He was
doing
doing scribbles
like
before
charcoaly, like definitely not just like like clean.
He kind of went from scribbly, charcoaly to the flat shapes or something. Yeah, but he was like a space alien, and we were like little dirty grunts. It felt like, you know what I mean? Like I don't even think I've met him.
Yeah,
like he was always just probably a little step ahead. It was weird. And I love it. I'm like, holy shit. When you see like, I'm in Czechoslovakia, fucking, didn't he do something like with 4 giant grain towers?
Probably,
and
I'm like, I think so. I know.
and the fact that like, these are trips of a lifetime where he goes home paid. You know what I mean? That's like the ultimate goal.
That was definitely...
Hard work. Paid for hard work.
Very hard work,
paid.
Yeah. But that's the most rewarding thing because you're not only leaving with money, you're leaving your mark on this whole other place
Massive
in the world.
Satisfaction, like whoa.
Yeah,
But I think he's got like a lot of those big dudes that do the big. They got like agents, like agency level representation. I've looked around. I'm like, oh, they're represented by like fucking agencies and stuff. And then I think he's represented by, it seems like someone in France or something. You know, like
yeah. It's crazy, yeah. But yeah, like you said, like we're literally, I'm sure there's more, but it's like there's like a literal handful of artists who are really like doing that. So yeah, I think that's a very true thing about Atlanta's art scene.
Yeah,
just like we're in a way, we've contributed so much to the world, and we continue to be like the number one like music output. Like,
right.
Pretty much, I think, because rap's the biggest genre, and like most of it, not everything, but a shitload of it's coming out of Atlanta, and like at least the sound. So it's like we've been so influential culturally in the music, but yeah, in the arts
that's what we thought, because we were fired up by all the Outkast shit.
Yeah.
And then I think someone made a point where it's like music, like hip hop in the '80s. Hip hop kind of gave the baton to like Basquiat and Harry. You know, they kind of coincided together. Like it didn't happen the same. The music's so fucking big, but it never meshed. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like it never.
The music.
It didn't go with the music. Like the music got so big now, it's fucking mainstream. Everywhere, everything. The art's still like, yo, bro, fucking, you just get out and took off with that. You know what I mean? Like almost like a unity of like, hey, we're both arts. Let's try to help.
Well, I feel like the strength of Atlanta is like definitely like, obviously we got the southern shit, but we're like weirdos, fucking aliens. So it's like, I feel like maybe what I would like to attempt to do, and what I want, like what I feel like Atlanta could, like we need fucking weird, cool shit, like
that's
we
good
need,
to hear.
we need good art that's like, is technically good, like it looks good, but also is like fucking like there's just, I mean, we all, it's all subjective, we all have our opinions, but like I would love to see more just people doing, I don't know. So I feel like because we do like we
weird
have this,
art.
Yeah, not necessarily just weird for the sake of being weird. You know
But-
what I mean? I just mean like, I don't know, like I don't even have the right language to describe it other than like the painters that I love who are like successful in these international
Right.
ways. It's like they're doing some shit that's not just like more, I don't know. Because I don't want to be too descriptive and try to like shit on anyone's work. It's just more so like, I think, I don't know if it falls all back onto the artist. I think
Maybe
it's
like,
part of
well,
the
it could
scene
be the
and
whole
the
point
culture
that
and
like,
everything.
to what I was saying, like you're not giving artists the money. Think how much better
Yeah.
everyone you knew that's a painter if they just all of a sudden had like a solid fucking gig and they could buy the paints and the machines or whatever. Just, you know, in general, they're like 100% more stuff than they have now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it would have evolved by
Yeah.
now into like, because like you would have been like, I got a fucking print machine, or you know what I mean? Everyone would be maxing out their creative, but
Yeah.
then we're like struggling like, fucking the mortgage, I can't buy a t-shirt, you know, or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're
Yeah.
still like, that's why it feels like working class. We're like,
Yeah.
if you can get to middle class, man, you've
Yeah.
fucking done it in Atlanta.
Well, I do, yeah. Like if I could just do studio, I found like anytime I've had a lull so in like corporate work or like anything that's really paying the bills, I'm just like, all right, let me go all in on my own shit. Like,
Right.
Because that's what I do when it's like just like I was saying with the dog person. I'm like, if I don't have anything that's like directly paying me, I'm gonna work on my shit in hopes that this pays because that's
Right.
really what I want to do.
Right.
And I found that whenever I put more time into that, I'm like, oh, now I'm starting to make money off of this. So it's just kind of like, oh wait, what happens if I put all my time into that? Maybe I could actually get what I'm getting from these other clients from that shit. But because that money's not there, like you said.
Yeah, you're almost seeing it in a very abstract kind of businessy graph. You know, you're like, wait a minute, I put this much in this one here, and you're like, what if I put this much? You know what I mean? Like,
like what if I just didn't ever stop doing, like didn't take this break to finish this whole mural that I have zero bit of my heart in.
Do it fucking now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, definitely do it now.
Yeah.
I feel like art is fucking boring in a way. I mean, you can go, that inspired me, but it fizzles.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like music where you're like, you hear the song again, every fucking dopamine thing goes jacked up.
Yeah, you're right. I know what you mean.
So I feel like, and then like with my art, when I first started, I used to like want to make people laugh. It was my, because I was reserved, so I'd stand over here, you wouldn't know who I was, a little too drunk because I'm being alone by myself on purpose. Yeah. And then I would just love it when someone would crack the fuck up with something. And I'd be like, oh, there's my joy, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so I wanted you to come here because like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like you're in would it be like a state of discovery? I feel like the juice is full and you're squeezing it like a motherfucker, maybe.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But also in the sense of I feel like what's cool, and I don't know, I may be wrong, but I feel like,
you're right.
Because I had the same thing, it's like, did you draw all your life? Just
Yeah.
kind of doodle kid that was always kind of...
Just art, like I was, always doodling, drawing, sculpting clay, making movies with my friends, had a rap group in middle school. Like always just like, it's, just make shit.
Creative outlet?
Yeah,
Sure,
like
I'll
I'm
take a
just
whole-
like,
yeah.
not even like thinking, it's just like, this is what I do. Like,
Right.
and it's like, there's shit happening with my friends, but it's like, I was the one, like, no one would have been making the movie if it wasn't me be like, dude, we should do this and this and this.
Right,
Like,
so the fire and the instigator and the kind of...
Yeah, it's just like creativity
maybe?
is my fun, and I relate to the laughter thing too. It's like not necessarily with my sometimes my paintings are funny, but like in general, it's like I've always wanted to, or been kind of that trying to get the laugh out of person, or trying to like,
Yeah,
just,
or like, ooh, that was a good little idea. You know, when someone tells you like that and you're like...
Look, some clever, witty, or just something like, whoa, that's, just like pushing whatever.
I think what I see too is like, I don't know, one, you're whipping them out. Like I'm jealous of whipping that shit out. So I saw your stuff randomly, like honestly. I met you at that mural certificate.
Yeah.
Raising the, what are they? Lifts.
Boom lifts, yeah.
But then when you were painting, I was like, I think that's that dude that was there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, he must paint as well as, you know what I mean? You're not going to get people that don't paint to help you with a mural.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's what I saw. But then it's like, I don't know, you're experimental. That's
Totally.
That's the element of it all for me. It's like,
yeah, for sure. I think I'm just curious. Like I see a thing, and I want to figure it out. You know, it's like deconstructing a thing.
Right.
Like how did they make that? How do you achieve that? How do you, like that seems exciting. Like I kind of am always chasing that excitement and that like the high of like something being interesting.
Right.
So like I think that's what kind of leads to like me doing different shit is just I'm like it's not even, I mean, it is a conscious effort to not be stagnant, but it's also kind of just like as soon as I see a thing,
right,
I try to capitalize on that moment where I'm excited about it because I know that shit wavers,
Right. Yeah, and that's part of it. Yeah, you're like squeeze some juice.
Yeah, it's
juice
like it's like if the way I see it a lot of times, because I've done paintings over the course of 2 years, and I've done stuff that takes me weeks and stuff, but like 95% of my paintings I do in like one sitting, and I just feel like it's this like it's a weird neurotic kind of like just ride that wave until like while you're like in that weird heat of it, just ride that shit.
I feel like a sad old man when you're saying that, dude. I'm like,
you shouldn't, man.
I'm toasted. Well, no.
I don't think most people like. I don't think even people my age are like. I think it's
content.
Like a weird like.
I got myself over contented. Let's say, you know what I mean. But the drive, I know all the feelings you're doing, and I'm like, God, because I would paint every day, 16 hours a day, like literally nonstop, forever, for years, decades.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
way more than I do too. So.
Now I'm looking at paintings like, fuck, how long have I lived here? I'm like, oh shit, that. I told everyone, I was like, I think I don't have shows, so I'd never finish. Because I could paint that painting all the time for the rest of my life. I could paint one painting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you don't have a deadline. That's
you
kind of that
moment. Not wrap it up.
That's that moment. I mean, obviously, you lived outside of that moment, but it's like a lot of people. If I don't know, did you go to art school? No. So like, there's a lot of people who go to art school. It's like they're paying to get this education, this thing, and it's just like. There's like the saying, I don't remember what it is, but however many percent of you aren't going to go on to be artists. And, and it's just like, because
like
statistically,
percentages, yeah.
And it's just like, you see like, like 4, 5, 6 people from your graduating class who go on to like still making art 10 years later. And it's just like, I think the difference is just when you don't have that assignment due, or like who's the one. Like, I don't know why because it's like, I don't have to finish a painting in a day, but that's just like a wiring thing, I feel
That's why I treat it like it's a compulsion.
It is, yeah.
It's one you can tame and you can hone. It's not like you fucking washing your hands, but then you're like, maybe I'll use a sponge and it'll do. You know what I mean? Like, you can literally mold this like obsession.
Couldn't hear you as well.
All the hair, like just
This is turned upside down.
Fucking man. My brain is like a toilet. There's always a handle that you can go.
Oh, I'm the same way.
I told him, like, if he hears me going on this thing, we're like, oh shit, he's making sense. He's making good points. I get to the top and fucking, I lose it all. Like, I'm like running still, like the coyote over the cliff.
I mean, that's the nature of conversation and everything. It's all kind of improv.
Right.
Like,
yeah. But man, I like I don't know. You've done a lot of things. Like, I freaking loved your little exploration on the glow in the dark stuff.
Thanks, man.
Because I've seen glow in the dark, and like Fabian uses it a bunch, but he uses it in that weird kind of color style he does. But I was like, oh, that's like I think it was the lizard. The lizard got me because I was like, I didn't have my glasses on. I was like, it looks like a fucking lizard. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, it looked like a lizard in the dark that was glowing.
Yeah.
But it was rough. It was still, you know what I mean? Like, it was visually, like, you put a layer of, like, real life over it. Even though, the blur, something about the blurry. I see you painting them, and I'm like, no, it's not sloppy. It's not too sloppy. It's, like, perfectly.
Yeah, I try to really play with that line of, like, like if you look at a photo of my work, especially like say the blurred depth of field thing, where it's like there's the thing in focus where you have that like hard edge and then you have the blurred background. Like you look at that through a picture, it's like, oh, that's photographic. That looks like almost photoreal. You look at it in real life, you can still see my like sketch under there. You can see my brush marks, and so I kind of like that like. It's not to say, because I think you hear this a lot and it's kind of bullshit from some artists.
So kind of a picture of the picture looks more real than it's still
but
painterly.
I'm trying to capture the essence of the thing and make it believable, but also I want it to be a painting. You know what I mean? Like because I was gonna say like there's people.
You're not shooting for photorealism.
No, and there's a lot of artists who I've heard be like, I can do that shit, but it's like it's shit's hard as fuck. So like I feel like when people are really like, no, I mean photorealism, but what's the point? Because I feel that way, but also I'm saying like. It's not because I'm not like, I do think that I could achieve something even closer to more rendered to reality, but like I'm not trying to, but also at the end of the day, I do think it's funny when artists is like, no, I don't do photorealism because like that shit's like, of course I could do it, but it's like, it's still hard as shit to do. Like it takes a lot of time and effort. So
someone wants to do photorealism, first I say, are you good at math? And if they say no, I'll be like, you never fucking do it. Because every time I grew up, there was artists, and then there was these math guys.
Yeah.
That would be like, oh, I'm gonna draw this, and they draw it fucking dead on, and I was like,
I know what you mean.
Since I was a kid, I was like, there's something with math, with rendering perfection on a page. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Like MC Escher or whatever, those really good drawings. Well, probably not him; he's a little trippy, but like, I just remember all my math friends.
Yeah, I have the exact same correlation. One of my good friends now, he's like went on to do architecture, but we were in like art classes together, and he was like
that's a good
really good rendering, but like I'd make fun of him, kind of being like always, because I'd always be like, but it's all math, like you ain't got the like, you know, like you don't have the like, you know, kind of that loose end, that fucking weird firing of the like,
I'd say they just have it like thinner, so it's even more tricky to pull creativity out, which is still like creative as fuck. But I went to like, I was gonna be an architect for some reason.
Oh, it's super
then
sick.
a nurse, and then like went graphic design because I was like, oh, you can't be a painter. That's what I thought. I can't be a painter.
Yeah.
What's the closest thing I could do that has jobs? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even that, I didn't fucking pay attention. It's all on the job learn. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
With design and creativity, I almost feel you don't need a college degree. You need experience in like a portfolio. Because I don't give a fuck where you went to school. I got to see what it looks like.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think my take on like art school, college, like, is it worth it?
It's expensive.
It can be very expensive, and so it's like it's not a it's like it's worth it if it can make sense financially in some way and doesn't burden you for the rest of your life.
Right.
And you go to a good school and you actually care, because it's like if you're there, that's the thing with like if you're there and doing it, this is supposedly what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
So like,
and you get all the connections and all the tools and all the machines the school has. You know what I mean?
So it's like if you're there, go for it and do this shit. And yeah, make those connections, but like, I would never say like it's, you know.
You should already have your like style and goal in mind, probably.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. No, I don't think you have to have any fucking idea. I think it's about discovery, and I think to this day that's kind of what I'm trying to fuck with.
Yeah.
Is like, I don't know, like I have bodies of work and shit, but you know what I mean. It's like I think that's one thing I took away from art school that I don't like, is that sort of like.
You went?
I did. I went to Georgia State.
Okay.
So just like I got like the, you know, it's not, they don't tell you how to make a career out of it, right? They tell you nothing about the business side. So they're not helping you do anything after that when it comes to applying that to a job. What they're helping you with is like being like, you know, making how to render good in one side, and then how to like think abstractly and like be like super art schooly art, which is kind of seems like not worth it, or like kind of out there, like, not there grounded. But I think that ties into maybe some of like why I'm always doing weird shit and pushing myself, is because like, not because I went to art school, but just because I have a mentality of like, art isn't like a brand. Art is this like constantly evolving like internal reaction to life, you know?
Yeah, sadly, you may end up with the same kind of, it's not a problem because I don't look at it that way, but like I don't sit on a style. Like I jump styles, and I feel like I make each style my own style when I'm doing that style.
Yeah, for sure.
And it seems like the art world, or even the commercial side of art, don't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I have that, but if you feed them up a nice like TV dinner, here's the
100%.
So
100%.
which I didn't have a goal in life. I've been riding the shit. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'll get married. I'll probably have kids. I'll have a house. Maybe I can have a studio in it. So I made it here, and I don't know what else to do now, because I'm like, maybe that's. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
crap, I need a new
Yeah.
goal or whatever kind of thing.
I
But
hear you. Yeah.
I don't remember we were talking about how this relates to art school, but like, I get scared. SCAD had me come talk to the master's class.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have a master's. Like, why are you
Yeah.
having me come talk to people that pay
Yeah.
the extra? And they were all scared as fuck how to make money.
Yeah.
And I was like, how to price their work and how to make money. I was like,
They don't teach you that shit. Yeah.
that's weird. And then some people
It's
I
kind of
noticed they
fucked
had a
up,
style.
considering how much money you put into this thing that like
Well, I know
they're
design schools, they'll have connections. They'll be like, dude,
Yeah.
you go here, you can work with MTV. You can do whatever you
not.
want.
Yeah.
It seems like art should have the same.
It should. They don't teach you. There's like maybe some teachers who kind of tried to like put a little bit of that, but they really don't teach you that shit at all.
They don't
And
teach you how to build a website or anything like that?
No, and that maybe that's changed a little bit
Right,
since
right.
then. I mean, I heard now. You know the artist Kilimari? I think
Yeah,
he's
he's
like
good.
a school at Kennesaw or something, a professor or teacher. Not I don't know about professor, teacher.
Well, I've heard Kennesaw
And-
keeps gathering great teachers, I think.
And I think he was saying he was gonna like lead a mural class, and I was like, that would be the
Huge.
most useful thing ever, because like that's the best way as far as I
Yeah.
think you probably might agree. Like that's
Well,
the best way
all
to
the
make
mural
money
stuff,
as a painter.
you have to learn on your own. No
Yeah.
one fucking tells you, and you're like, what's general liability insurance?
Yeah, you
Like,
have to learn it all on your own, and also it's the best way to make money as a painter.
Oh, 100%. Huge chunks.
It's
Unless you're selling, $5,000 pieces every week out of your fucking garage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, they're big chunks. It's the faster you do it, the bigger the chunk is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you can get it done in a week, you just fucking made a shitload of money in a week.
yeah. So
I told
think-
everyone, like, get into murals, dude. If you're not doing it, do it.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's
Yeah.
It's you got to break your style down and make it way simpler
yeah,
and give up full creative control. Sometimes 100%.
totally. Yeah,
You know
that's
Like,
what I do
Yeah.
for work. You know,
Yeah.
it's like that shopping center over there. I painted 30 murals at.
Also,
not one
I
of
think that's
those
your
is-
drive. What's funny to me is like you're painting, and then any downtime you're making murals. So it's like
Yeah,
it's a good drive. I would say fucking press it harder and explore. You know what I mean?
It's like my whole thing is like take corporate money. Like this, my ego is
they
out.
pay on time.
Yeah,
with an
well,
invoice.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Wow.
It's like my ego can, for the most part, leave the chat. Like I'm here to execute this thing that is this A to B. We need you to be essentially a human printer on this
Right,
surface.
right.
You know, which can be very complicated. But it's like, all right, that's kind of what I've learned to specialize in. It's like, give me your money. My soul is out of this. Come to my shit.
Right.
I'm gonna fuck around and do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because that's how I've learned to have that separation, because it's like I desperately want I want the things I do on my own to be valued the same way, but I'm not there yet. So it's like, I'm just going to push on doing what I want to do with my time, free time that's outside of it. And then with
Right.
the other thing, it's like, until I get there, it's like, this is just a means to an end, but also you're learning skills and techniques.
Well, and you're not sitting on your ass like crying
yeah.
or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like you're
Yeah.
kind of like, here are my skills. How can I go make a day job, have a night job,
Yeah.
do this job? You know what I mean? It's like, if you're just a painter and you're sitting around fucking at the fucking river,
Yeah.
looking at flowers and smelling them and throwing them in the water and
Yeah.
waiting for inspiration, like I feel like you're lazy.
Yeah.
You're just being, because, and I don't know, it's me if it's like spazoid level personality, but like
Yeah.
I hate sitting around. I hate being lazy. I always feel like I got to be doing
Yeah.
something creative. If it's
Yeah.
not that, I'll sit and do my website. You know what I mean? It's definitely I don't know. It always felt like a cog in a wheel, but I feel like it's a gene like
Yeah.
ding, turned on. Maybe I got hit on the side instead on this part, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's definitely, one of those blessings and a curse thing. It's like, I mean, mostly you channel it into a blessing, but it's like you can't turn it off. Like at the end of the day, it's like sometimes it'd be nice to like you have friends who have a typical job. And it's like, oh, y'all have this
like you want to get into football and like
weekend, and you just ended this thing that is outside of
that ain't never gonna happen.
Your passion / your job. It's just having that separation.
Like you wish you could be the dude that's just like fired up about one football team when it comes around.
Yeah.
And he's the most excited soul on earth. Everything that you would need to feel like the best. It's like it's just I wish that was.
Yeah, it seems nice, and also just like I don't know. It's like as artists we're so in our own like heads and our own worlds and shit. So Kinda, yeah. I mean,
because I think my brain, without me even knowing, is like sucking images.
It is, yeah.
But it's not making it thrilling. So like if I went and saw the pyramids, let's say, I'd probably be like, all right. You know what I mean? I got it in my head. I don't know. It's, you know what I mean? It's all just shoved like in your head somehow. I don't know. I don't know.
Man, the way
I don't look at paintings much. I heard there's like a neighborhood sitting there and it's trash everywhere. Have you seen? I'm actually probably like imagine that Idiot Abroad. Have you ever seen that?
I don't know if I have.
It's like a Ricky Gervais guy, but it's like his really kind of dumb friend, and they take him to places. And his attitude is that he's like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, and then you see a trash bag go. Like the pyramid.
No, that's definitely a thing with all like tourist shit where it's like with the outside of that perfect little shot, it's just like a trash.
Yeah.
I saw one, I think like Niagara Falls or I think it was the Grand Canyon. It was like an image like that where it's like the little idealist view, and then it's just like zoom out and it's just like trash, disgusting.
So what like? Are you even at a point to even just find what your style is? Do you think? You know what I mean? Because I'm having a hard time. 20 years now.
I think the idea of style is, I don't know, like I think it can be more abstract than some people make it. Like some people obviously have a very specific brand and style.
Right.
Like I feel like those words can start becoming synonymous in this day and age.
Yes, and I would say probably my definition of style is like elements you make up that you can use, and ingredients that you made the whole ingredient yourself. Like this little lightning bolt is mine, and when I put it, so probably both our definitions aren't even related because exactly what you're saying. Like style can easily go into your brand easily.
Yeah. Well, I think I guess in terms of my style, I guess. Yeah, I think that I like have. Like something that is uniquely mine, but also I'm aware that it's not like so recognizable that it's like synonymous like a brand, you know, like it's out. Right, I think whatever if you were to look at like my, like what I've made over the past 6 years, you might be like, oh, there's some like. Because I've always had bodies of work. I had like my liquid zebra style. I'm like chrome smiley. Like I have all these bodies of work within that.
Right.
And I think in a way, like I can relate them, but like they are different. So it's just like I think it's gonna be there in the way that it is now, always. But also like, will it become something more like narrowed down or more like succinct? Like, okay, this is him. This is what he does. This is the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe, but also I kind of like want to fight to like just continue. I want to, I think theoretically, but I also feel like I'm constantly fighting against the reality of if I were to be more specific, it would be better for my career. Like,
yeah, I guess I'm a little the same way. As soon as I say that, I'm going to paint something exact opposite of what I swear to God I'm going to paint for the rest of, like if I painted flowers in this graffiti style that I've done once or twice, I could make a killing. Because to me, I'm always on the search for, like I'll put here to make this mega painting that I haven't come up with yet, but there's this mega painting that's gonna combine all these elements that I've developed over the years, and I'll make this mega painting, but every time you go to make it, something new kind of pops out, which you don't want to resist because
For sure.
Why the fuck are we doing it anyways? Like something that never existed popped out. Let it pop out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I 100% relate to that. I think that too, and I try to just like, I've like tried to piece little like things like, oh, I had this body. Oh wait, what? But then it just gets better and more you when you start bridging those.
Right.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Where you're like, I feel like I definitely have had that idea in my head. Like, I think what becomes truly me at the end is when all of these things fucking me.
The morsel.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
and you're like
finally
levitating.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, fuck. Yeah, but I do think it's just like, you know, anything where it's just like, it happens over time, like on a gradual level where it's like, you're aware of it happening, but it's only when like you like look back and you're like, oh shit, I did.
Right, and you're like, oh, look at there, look at
Yeah.
that thing. It traveled throughout the whole thing and ended up this way or something. Yeah, it's I never know what I'm gonna paint, so it's always just a puzzle, a game. I just paint whatever the fuck.
Do you have a visual in your head at first,
No.
or do you really just go at it?
No, and I almost think it's laziness. I think I could compose some really cool compositions, you know what I mean? But no,
You just start.
the color, then the game starts and it starts layers and fucking up on purpose and then being like, oh shit, there's red right here, it fucks everything up. And then like seeing how you can pull it all,
Yeah.
like letting everything be everything, but then like I wish I could like turn on a lobotomy, turn it off. Like I would be like, lobotomy. And I'd just paint like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'd click it back on and be like, oh, fuck yeah. It's,
I know what you mean.
you know what I mean? It's like, it's so messing it up. You know what I mean? I think I'm in the end an abstract painter because I think that's where I'd love to rest and live. But I could take an object and attach all my style to it and form an, you know what I mean? If you're like, paint a carrot, I'd be like, and it'd be like a carrot that sits within all my style of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm lost still. So like I have no idea what I'm doing still. Like no idea.
I feel that. Yeah, man. I think it depends. Like for me, I do get kind of struck by like, I mean, not to be like, you know, over dramatized, but it is kind of like I have like a vision, you know, like something like hits my brain where I'm like, I see it and I'm like, that's a painting. And then I'm like trying to get to that. Oh. Whether that is from like, and sometimes it's literally like the idea that I then am trying to find like a reference image for, or like I'm like literally like sometimes like I don't know, man. Like I've done like meme painting, so it's like everything from like the way I see it, it's like everything is inspiration. You know what I mean? So it's like I'll go outside and I'll see some shit that like a distortion in someone's like window reflecting this shit. Like it looks trippy as fuck if I just zoom in and crop it.
So you get excited to be like, I gotta figure out how to make that.
I just see shit. I'm like, that's a painting. Like I see life as like a painting. Like literally everything. I'm like composition, light. Like I'm like, oh, this is. Like I do think I appreciate about myself that I see beauty. Like every day, even shitty days, I'm like, oh, that shit's beautiful as fuck. And it might be a damn fucking pile of trash. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like, or it might be some like natural beauty, or it might be some other shit. But like I just find things like, I don't know if you saw like the heat distortion study.
No, it's cool.
So it's just like, it's like a natural phenomenon, or it's something that happens with cameras.
One of my favorites, to be honest. Like when I saw a painting, it made me go, oh yeah, driving fucking flat ass Alabama.
Yeah, and you see the mirages and shit. So it's like, it's everything from like how, you know, a camera takes in information, how our eyes take in information. Just like the way I see it, it's like I just think, I mean, you look at nature, like they have animals have the coolest fucking patterns you've ever seen. Like all this shit is like, it's all out there.
Nature's like cooler than anything.
Nature's way cooler than what humans could ever create. But like, but then we're also, to pivot into some other shit, it's like we're also like social media. So it's like there's memes that are making my way in my work. There's AI art now coming. There's now like 3D modeling programs. There's all this technology that's happening also that I feel like is changing reality real time. So it's like,
and it's different than like what my influences were at the time when I was squeezing out elements of my style all the time. Like, like I don't know what it would have done. You know what I mean? Like having like we had AOL's dial-up. One dude, the rich dude, had it. So we'd go and be like, fuck off, and we'd get it. And then they charge you if you went a minute over. It was like the first. Shit. So you didn't sit on it, you know, and it was college even. So it was like,
wow, yeah.
Like 90s. You go drink and have fucking
Yeah,
fun. Like
it was
that's
all like,
But I couldn't imagine the influence of all that now. Like that's I'm in a cool little generation. There were no computers. Then
Yeah.
we can work computers.
yeah,
And then there was no social media, but we're on it just as hardcore. So we're like,
yeah,
it's weird looking back to remember like all I can make of it is boredom is necessary
Yeah.
and no one's bored. Like I see it in my kids. They're
Yeah.
never bored because you can always be unbored.
Stimulated, yeah.
But bored is when I sit around and draw. You'd like
Yeah.
go outside and be like, fuck it, I'm digging a hole. Or, you know what I mean? You do stuff because the boredom would put you to levels where you're just like, oh.
For sure. It's funny because, so, like, all my work in college was based on, like, I even wrote, like, a research paper outside of art, like, about smartphones. And, like, I used to be, like, anti, like, super,
Yeah.
like, all, like, everyone's fucking zombies staring at the shit. Like, early on, you know, or, like, early on in, like, smartphones becoming, like, more and more.
Yeah.
Everyone has one, and I was very resistant for, like, wait till, like, most people had them, and then, like, had a friend be like,
Where you're like weird now. You're like, what? You don't
yeah,
have
and I had a
phone?
friend be like, bro, you're not even an artist if you're not on Instagram at this age. And I hate, you know, I resented that so much. And then, like,
Sucks.
sure enough, like, obviously I get into it, get incredibly addicted to it, get into, like, the feedback loop
seeing
of
a little
using
video.
it.
And,
Like,
yeah.
so, yeah, it definitely,
I mean, it fucked me up a
undeniably,
little.
I have a piece that literally it's written in there. It's, like, scribbled. It's kind of hard to read. It just says, the algorithm ruined my art.
Oh.
Because it's just like,
It might be like it might be eventually it ruins art because everyone's like with the AI stuff.
yeah, the AI.
And the more ads I see for the AI, the more I go, okay, that's cool. It doesn't look like smeared.
No, it's
Some of it
really-
looked like I was like, if I had to do saggy eyelids,
Yeah.
I'd do it like
No, bro,
Mr. Robot did over
You
there.
can literally do photoreal 4K. You can type in 4K.
Won't these
You
be worth $1 billion? These are like the geo gemstone of
I
of
know,
all,
that's
you
what
know
I'm
what I mean?
hoping.
Like a
Well, it's just like when NFTs are a thing and everyone's like, dude, yeah, well, it gets value over time. Like, so do fucking paintings, bro.
you can see them and move them.
Yeah,
and
they're
it's like-
real.
it's freedom
They
art.
exist,
you can literally
man.
take it wherever you go.
Yeah, so it's like, that shit kind of bothers me when people are like, dude, well, there's this and this. I'm like, you're talking about art like it's just this, like, or like this digital art that is worth money in this space. I'm like, you know, real art's worth money and accrues value over time, too. Like,
Well, yeah, and I was thinking like, well, Jesus, should I sell an NFT and give you a whole entire free painting with the NFT? I was like, is that how I'm gonna have to sell paintings? I actually sell an NFT of it at the price of the painting, and I give you
Did
the
you?
painting
Oh, no,
free.
you're saying.
No, but I'm like,
You're trying to
I've
figure out.
contemplated that strategy. Be like,
Yeah.
you get a 36x48 wood panel shipped to you,
Yeah.
and this picture of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I still don't get it, and I feel like it's a good way to like maybe copyright things. Like
There's some good parts of it for sure. And I
you
even,
pop out an image, now
Yeah.
it's stealable, but if you NFT'd it to
Yeah.
be like yours first, but then that's gonna cost you like
yeah,
pretty penny.
there's things behind it, and I actually have some friends who like are incredibly successful doing it. So it's like I know that it's not just a scam, and it's not what I want to do, but
Yeah, but
it's-
they'd probably be successful at being stockbrokers too. You know what I mean? It seems like
Yeah.
you gotta be that kind of
it was
dude.
yeah no they definitely want to, like, they have that business mindset for sure. One of them in particular, which is obviously a key if you're gonna like go above and beyond in anything. You gotta at least have.
You gotta fucking
some of
love
that.
money first off. I hate it. I just want to have enough so I'd never have to fucking deal with it.
What is your job, if you don't mind me asking?
Like I run a design department, but it's
Oh wow.
2 people, 2 other people, 3 people, but they're all in other states.
Is it for another company, or
Yeah,
is it?
for like a company out of Texas or something. But like, they're all work from home. They're all designer types, so like, we don't ever have to fucking interact.
You just like tell them what they
Just
need
there's
to
a
do.
date, get it done, make it look good. Like that's
And you're just overseeing it, or you're
yeah. I just like sign the jobs, be the manager, be the guy that's like,
nice.
fucking kicking ass, man. And my theory as a boss is I gotta be the best creative there.
Yeah.
Like, for me, there's got to be backs. Like, I could fucking blow y'all out of the water anytime I want. Creatively.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, if someone was better, I'd almost be like, I give up the position to the better
Yeah. I
man.
feel that.
I did it because I was like, fuck, I don't want to be a manager. I was a designer, and it was just, no one talks to you. You just do your work from home. And then I was like, looked in the mirror. I was like, gray hair. That's what got me. I was like, fucking gray hair. I was like, if I lose this job, I got to go get another job with fucking gray hair. And I was like, that's going to be fucking hard. So I was like, I'll be a manager because then it makes sense that a manager would have gray hair. You know what I mean? Like I had to move up like out of necessity, out of the gray hair. The gray hair made me go up in my job. The only reason. In case I lost it because like fucking having a family is fucking expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
Expensive as fuck.
Yeah. I need to, well.
No.
I am
Don't take your time.
No.
Take your time.
I don't need, I wasn't going to say I need to have a family. I was going to say I need
I have influenced you somehow.
I need to appreciate beyond my now very old dog, who I'm starting to have to put a good little chunk of change into. I don't have a lot of, financial obligations other than paying my bills and rent.
No, well, then then.
So that's probably a good time to,
You just feed the business that's making the things. You know what I mean? Like there was it seems like the mural thing, since you're willing to like do the labor side of it too, where like we just want our name up there, like it seems like that could go on forever. You know what I'm saying? Like the like where you if you got like you could split it out, almost like it's like a. It seems like it could go forever.
Yeah.
Everyone wants hand painted. I've noticed. No one wants a.
Yeah, vinyl. I mean, vinyl stencils are great, but
Yeah.
I mean, and vinyl obviously serves its purpose, but hand painted lasts longer. The edges don't peel up.
Right.
I mean, you go to like an old city, you see their like ghost signs. You ever see like go to like Philadelphia or like Richmond, Virginia? You're like, oh, this fucking sign's from like 150 years ago, and it's still there. Vinyl, that bitch will be gone in a year or two.
Oh yeah, no.
Ripped
and
off,
I hate the
peeling up.
vinyl they do where they print a picture and they do the vinyl over the whole brick. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Fucking,
I hate that.
And it's got a gloss, so it looks just like a lumpy. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they got mural bots coming. Like they literally have them. I don't know if you've seen.
I wouldn't doubt it. All you need is scaffolding in that same machine.
I think
bot.
The mural bots they're just big printers, but really they're.
But print on the wall.
Yeah, but it's like so far they're only doing like drywall, no obstruction. So like I think hand painting has a very long ways to go.
These are the ones that even with the strings that are kind of like go like this, or they
I'm
have
talking
more...
about. There's one that's just kind of like imagine if this was just a printer and it like moves along like. It
just does it.
And it just prints it.
I think the limit. That's so.
It's right now that's limited, and I think hand painting is gonna have value for forever because it's beyond just. You could print a print thing, but like a painting, it's like this human thing. Like to go back to on some like the oldest shit ever.
Right.
I obsess over and I got to see some cave painting and like your like 30,000 years BC cave painting.
Does it affect you differently?
It affected me like crazy because I'm literally. So there's year 0, then we go 30,000 years back, and there's a human being in a cave making art, and I'm now beyond 30,000 years, like 30,000 plus, whatever, 2022 into the future from this moment, and I'm appreciating and looking at this. Nothing has ever.
That's the ultimate level of
nothing's ever validated my shit more than that. It's like, oh, creating something is worthwhile.
So then that is validated on a primal level.
Yeah, it's
literally.
That it made
you
me.
Saw a cave painting. And it probably affects you more than the Mona Lisa.
It did. No, that was
like
the thing.
Yeah.
I had just been seeing, it was in Spain, so I had just been seeing like the most fucking incredible historic paintings, and like they were beautiful and so moving. And the skill, but that shit, I was like, and it was just pretty much like raw mark making.
Right.
And there's like one little I think like fish, almost like doodle, like a kid, but it's like holy shit. Someone felt compelled for some fucking reason to do this in a cave in pitch black, and here I am appreciating it all these years later. I was like. Art is, it made me be like, art isn't like inherent, intrinsic, and it also is like, it's worthwhile. Like when I was like sitting there looking at this that long in the future, I'm like, this shit it's worth doing. Like this is some,
that's crazy.
Some real shit.
That's crazy though. Yeah, but that's like, prehistoric man, like.
Yeah, like we always had that compulsion. Like the same shit we're saying. Where
it's almost like, it's weird. Like we laugh. That's weird. Humans laugh.
Yeah.
That's weird. Making art is weird. I mean, there's some fish, there's some animals that do weird shit, birds and stuff, but yeah, we'll shrink wrap an island for no reason but art. You know what I mean? Or something like.
That's funny, yeah.
It is weird. So if it is inherent, it can be a compulsion. Therefore, I'm starting a new medical diagnosis.
Yeah, man.
I want to wear a white
You're
jacket.
You're diagnosed as an artist.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man, but.
Sorry, you're.
Well, the funny story is when my grandma was like the same as me, like obsessed with crafting and art and a barn full of kilns, a barn full of fucking drawers full of doll eyeballs. She'd make porcelain dolls. She'd do all this crazy stuff. When I told her, like when I was like, I'm going to be a fucking painter in Atlanta, I'm going to try to do this. Or like, I don't think I had a good job. So it was like risking, probably maybe where you're at. I was like, Grandma, I'm going to paint, you know, thinking, oh, she's creative sight. And she was like, you need to be careful. It was all of a sudden like a horror film started. And she was like, you need to be careful. She's like, it'll make an obsession, whatever. She was telling me because she's an old lady that sat in like an obsessive level of creative things to do at my grandma's house, like crazy. So she had that weird thing, and I was like, oh, did not expect that.
So she almost had like
she's like a warning,
a slightly like
it'll take
negative,
over.
Like there's sacrifices.
Maybe,
with this
yeah,
lifestyle.
Weirdly, and said from an old lady, so it was very like.
That is crazy.
Like, music should have started playing. You know, I was like, remember, just like that's the opposite thing I thought I'd hear, and then it was ominous, and like it can take over. I mean, me and my wife broke up because of art stuff. I was too into it. She was like, when we were dating, she was like, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like me going downtown all the time, all the night, not do anything bad, but fucking hanging out with other nerdy ass artists. You know what I mean? So it was like, but it was just too much, that kind of stuff. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. It definitely, yeah. If you're obsessed in the way that it sounds like you have been or still are, and I maybe still am, like, or am, I think, I guess. It definitely, you know, you're not putting the same amount of time into other life things.
Oh yeah, probably. Right.
Like there's shit that's not happening.
Like you took it all away and be like, what would you do now?
Yeah, you're like,
hike.
What's your, like I have some hobbies, but and like I have a good group of friends and all that good stuff, but it's like, yeah, like a lot of people, like they build their life out. It's like there's your job, then there's like all these other things that you do, and for me it's like there's my job and my passion, and it's all this thing that's always like kind of one.
My son's girlfriend wants to be an artist and all that, and I'm such a cynical 20 years in some kind of game that I didn't even know existed, or maybe it doesn't even exist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm always like, maybe someone will be like, oh, that dude just said go to fucking work, like work your ass off, because if it is a talent and it is you're obsessed with it, it shouldn't be hard to work your ass off. It should be like delightful or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, so on a side note, besides like just doing weird videos and having something come from the South that might be cool to listen to, like I kind of like, maybe younger folks or someone will be like, oh, you know what I mean? They're not balling, they're hustling the fuck out of shit. You know what I mean? And if they are balling, then they did something very good that it took a long time to get. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So in a way, I sometimes feel like these videos are like that. And like, I think, like, I'm glad you came by.
Yeah, man.
Because I feel like you're in that, you could equally give the same advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure, man.
And maybe not from like me, where I'm like, you know, if I want to go all old man, I'd be like, learn graphic design, you get a shit more money. You know what I mean? Like, mean old man me just fucking kicks art like a bad, you know, something. So it's like that, or my id does.
Yeah.
But it's because I love it so much. It maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you came because of, like, one, I like talking to artists, but two, it's like, you've got fire. So that's, you know what I mean? It's cool to see you, and it's cool to talk, like, honestly, like someone with some fucking fire in there. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, I feel like, I don't know, if, not that it was set up this way, I guess it's to piggyback off what you said, but like, if there was like advice or some shit, or like, you know,
Oh,
like to
that's
like the
what I was trying to
younger,
get to.
you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like
yeah,
to like
yeah.
your son's girlfriend, or like, you know, like, I feel like, I don't know, it's hard for me to say, because it's, I just don't, I don't think there's really anything formulaic. Like, there's ways to make more of a career out of it, which I know that artists are always like, we're very much looking for how to make money out of, like, survive off it, and
Right.
that part is hard, and I can't like give like a nice little like elevator pitch on like
Yeah, we're
how
not
you
snatching
do
up
that
farmland
shit.
and
Yeah, like
we're just
I can't
surviving,
explain. I mean, I could if someone asked me questions. Like, I can give you, like, people will ask like this. I don't want to get on side notes, but like,
Besides your raw talent of just creating things, like what's something you had to learn that paid off?
I learned two things. Well, this is two completely separate points, but I was just thinking one is like art related, and like
Right.
the other one is more business related.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
the art one is like, one thing I did take away from art school is like, I used to be trying to like, and I think this is totally fine. I was pointed out to me, like, my work was very illustrative in the way that it was like, this is this thing happening, and this is supposed to, there's a message here that you get.
Okay.
And so like
yeah,
through
okay.
art school, I kind of learned to like, you don't have to provide an answer. Like, art's about that fucking search.
Right.
And so I feel like that's a lesson that's guided me through in terms of making art. In terms of the business side, I feel like you have to stand up for yourself a lot, and like, no one's really gonna value, like we were saying with like being in a film thing, like your painting's in the back. They're gonna say, "Can I have permission?" You have to say, "Actually, I pay for this." Or they're like, "Hey, can you design us a thing so that we can maybe approve you for the thing?" No, you have to pay me for my design. That's literally the whole thing.
Honestly,
So-
you saying that has made me be like, yeah, I fucking need to do that.
Oh, you should
more,
design
better.
fees.
You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
and I
Like,
slip up too, or like you have to work. There's a lot of negotiation, fighting for yourself. Like, but like, I think Michael Jones, who I actually did that mural when I first
right.
met you, he said this shit and he didn't even explain it, but I've always like just ran with this. We were like drunkenly, he was like, artists are the best businessmen, and that he didn't have any context and it didn't make any sense, but in a weird way, it made sense to me, in that I was like, we actually are in a way, because we just do what the fuck we do, and that's our business. You know what I mean? Like, our business
Yeah.
is straight up our imagination. So it's not like we're making like the most like profit off of our margin type shit.
Right.
But like, our like what we do is just what we do.
And it's the only thing that exists like that.
Yeah.
Period.
And no one's gonna believe it. This is so cliche. I was gonna say no one's gonna believe into you with like more than you.
Right,
Super
right.
cliche, but it's like, in terms of like
Oh, yeah.
being in your head and being like, oh, maybe I'm not putting out enough shit, or da-da-da-da, or like maybe like this isn't gonna be accepted. It's like, dude, just fucking make some shit and put it out there.
Throw it out there, and
Like, cause there's like, no one's gonna start believing you until you do.
no,
and, like,
it's rare that someone's gonna walk. It's rare, probably super mega rare, that someone's gonna walk up to you and be like, "Hey, man, you're so good. I want to take you under my wing and give you all my advice and introduce you to my business friend." And there's a few artists that does happen to.
Yeah.
But that you have to. It's one man wolf pack.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
you got to believe in yourself enough to fucking post a picture.
Yeah.
If you're used to it, like most people are that post pictures by now, but it's
different with art though. Yeah.
it's different with art.
So
But like, if you
personal.
tell someone that doesn't do art, they got to post something they drew. They're vulnerable. They're like fucking frightened almost. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I guess psyche-wise, it is still a little overcoming that little bit of thing to post it. So I don't even know where I was going with that, but like,
I mean, no, just putting your shit out there, I think, is a big part of it, and also like
Yeah.
not giving up if you don't.
people look at feet pictures, dude.
Yeah.
They'll look at a cool painting, even if it's bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, so many people are putting shit into this. This is like a weird way to look at it. And I don't think it's necessarily the right way. It's just a way.
Right.
But like I talk about, it's kind of like we're all staring at our screens all day. Like, you're either purely a consumer or you're like creating shit to be consumed as well. And so
Right.
like that's kind of how I like to like I get there's like it's definitely a horrible thing to be sitting at your shit looking at how people engage with your thing. But what's worse for me is when I'm like haven't made anything in a few days and I'm just intaking other people's
Oh,
shit.
right.
But like I like to like be like getting feedback and then also like engaging with other artists' work. Like when I'm just solely just like on the, so I don't know, I feel like even if your shit like, and I definitely when I experiment, like as someone's like I could say I don't care, but like when I get like 15 likes on a thing, like that hurts, you know, having gotten like the or 20, you know, it like it hurts your ego, but it's important,
but
right?
that's to me that's the weird part is that a robot hurts your feelings because of how he sorted out the shit he gave to you.
That's why I made that piece. The
You know what I'm
algorithm
saying? Like,
ruined my art, man, because now we factor in these things.
No, I got more people that I'm still connected with today through postcards at fucking like restaurants and shit in Atlanta and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I truly did way better before there was an algorithm you had to play. You know what I mean? Because it was purely like if you legit got your stuff out there, people would legit see it. Now it's like you push your stuff out there and then it's like jumps in the algorithm and it's like, you know what I mean? You're like, they're like, what's going on? You're like, you haven't seen the shit going
people
on,
literally
you know?
don't see your shit.
Yeah, so it's when there was no algorithm, it was pure organic word of mouth, old school style. It was easier here, but now it's like we send all it up to the cloud and it comes back down. Before I was like, it's easier when we just did it down here.
I feel
that. So yeah, but man, I appreciate you coming by.
Man,
it was fun to talk. It was fun to talk. And I look forward to seeing what you're doing because I know like you got the juice.
I appreciate. I'm glad that, you know, you have. I guess you have to see other people see that in you. So I'm like, I'm glad you feel that way, and I'm trying to keep shit.
Some old man in the suburbs. See you later, man.
Peace,
Thanks
dude.
for coming.
Appreciate you having me, man.
All right. Dude, we are actors.
Just let me relax.